Fine. So the purpose of this session is this is going to be a very important session for our semester, because I'm going to discuss how we will go for it, and what would be the flow of the semester, how we will conduct the classes, what would be the strategies for conducting the class. Uh, Along with that, there will be peer-to-peer learning. There will be involvement of yours. It's not like that just you listen to me and you know complete the session. There will be 100% involvement from your sides. So how we will go for it, that we will talk in today's class. So I'm sharing the presentation. Let's go for it. And at any point of time when you feel that you are facing any problem, uh, you can uh, you can tell me, and I'll stop there. Is everybody be there? And can you listen to me? Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And can you see the presentation?
Yes, yes, sir.
Fine, fine. Okay, so we are on the same page, right? Okay. So today's title, right? If you look at the title, today's title is Subject Orientation and Flow of Conducting Online Lectures. So this is class 00. This is not the first lecture. This is the class 0. That means we are going to start the teaching learning process of effective technical communication from the next lecture. This lecture is about what exactly your syllabus is and how we will conduct and how I'll go for it. Fine. So that's the title. If you look at the next slide, just look at the teaching scheme. I had given you the overview of this when at the time of orientation of your semester. Teaching learning process, you are in third semester. This is something that you know already. This is nothing new for you. So L stands for lecture. There will be two lectures. So I'll be conducting online two lectures during the week time. And practical means there will be lab, the way we had lab in English. This subject has 3 credits. The marks for final exam would be 70. Mid-sem exam will be conducted of 30 marks, right? And 30 marks and 20 marks, total 50 marks, that is for practical marks. So how we have divided this 50 marks, we'll talk about it. I would request all the students to mute their mics so that there should not be any kind of disturbances while I conduct the class. When I ask you question, you can unmute your mic and you can go for it. As I told you in the orientation program, we need, this is the era we'll talk about netiquettes, not etiquettes, right? We need to understand that while we are online, what are the etiquettes we need to follow? These are called netiquettes. If you look at the type of the course, this is communication and ethics. Just understand, earlier in GT used to offer communication skills as a subject, right? In engineering, now they have renamed the course as communication and ethics. That means there will be an element of ethics, there will be element of values, right? How we can go for it, right? For example, if you are a good programmer, but if you create or design a kind of patch, right? That patch, or that you pirate certain software, right, by using or finding a crack. So finding a crack shows your skill, but that is not ethical in a way. So we'll talk about those things when we talk, when we deal with that particular chapter. Prerequisite, if you look at the prerequisite, zeal to learn the subject, that means there is nothing required prerequisite, right? If you are willing to learn how to communicate, you can communicate well properly, and there is no question about it. Now, looking at the third slide, right, the course outcomes, right? When we talk about project-based learning, and when we talk about object-oriented learning, right, in that case, every subject, every lecture, right, every discussion is divided in three parts. So one is, that particular session's objectives. That is why we do this, right? That calls objective. And at the end of that discussion, at the end of the lecture, at the end of that course, what would be your take home? That is course outcome, lecture outcome, discussion outcome. So here what effective technical communication says in terms of course outcomes. That means at the end of this course, right, when you complete this course in 40 sessions, that means it would be somewhere around 4 weeks time or 5 weeks time or 6 weeks time, right? How we go ahead, number of lectures we conduct in a week time, that depends on that. But during that span of time, right, what you will learn or what would be take home after learning this subject, right? These are called course outcomes. So it has been given in 6 numbers, right? Course outcome number 1 to course outcome number 6. So if we go through it once, that means here by discussing this, you will get to know that what is the big picture of this subject, that what is expected you, right, or from you by GTU, by we people to learn, right, at the end of this. So we'll talk about it. First is define and discuss dynamics of verbal and non-verbal aspects of communication. Here, define and discuss. That means you understand that what do you mean by verbal communication, right? If I give you very brief introduction or brief idea about verbal communication means to communicate means to share, right? And verbal means by using words. Non-verbal means without using words, by sign language, by body language, right? You can go for it. Outcome number 2, that is write various formal documents and documents of technical and professional communication. See here it differs from your day-to-day communication. For example, if your mobile is found in the library, you write a letter of apology, right? This letter, if you fail to pay the fees on time, you write a letter of request for extension, right? This is a different from this unit, right? So we need to understand. So I give you 1 minute time to just go through it so that we can go ahead. Fine. So look at it. Technical and professional communication, right? So we'll talk about different aspects of writing proposals, right? We'll talk about how to write technical reports, technical descriptions. All these things would be there, in this unit. Or we have a special unit for this. That's why there will be, I told you that it's a unit, right? Okay, third outcome talks about communicating diverse formal situations taking place in organization. That means when you talk to somebody, right, in a organization, right, so there will be different types of people around us. So we need to understand that when we talk about somebody, right, so how we talk about them, how we use our language, right? You talk to a friend, you talk to your class counselor, you talk to your mentor, you talk to head of department, you talk to dean sir, right? Everywhere there will be a different types of language will be used, right? So we need to understand that. So there are different situations, right? How we will go for it. So we'll talk about those things that illustrate and examine the knowledge of ethical aspects of engineering. Here, what we will do is we'll talk about prescribed case studies, fine, which are there, given by GTU. So there will be a list of case studies given or prescribed by GTU. We will select related to computer engineering, as you are from computer engineering branch. That's why, and we'll go for it. Then next is demonstrate and explain social and professional etiquettes, right? So while talking to somebody socially or professionally, right, how to go for it. So as I told you that there will be lots of etiquettes, and in addition to that we will add on certain things, right, in terms of netiquettes, right? Unit number 6 is very important, right? People, when people find to grow and people like to go ahead in life, so how to go ahead in life, there must be certain ways of goal setting, right? I will talk about lots of things. For example, I tell you that I'm going to tell you a story about bucket list, fine. If you came to know about certain news items, right, on social media, Sushant Singh had created a kind of bucket list, right? His bucket list was published. So bucket list is a kind of way where you can goal set, right? Or you can set your goals of your life, right? So there are multiple ways, before you die, what you want to do, or in next 10 year down the line in the future, what you want to do. So here we'll talk about how to plan, and from there planning to execution to assessment, right? This entire channel would be there, which will help you to, help you to grow your, your professional career, your personal career, your social career in the coming time. So this is what it's expected from you to understand from this course in terms of course outcomes. Now look at this course content. Unit number 1, right? Unit number 1 says that we'll talk about dynamics of communication, right? If you look at the websites, there will be static websites and dynamic websites, right? So dynamics will be changes, right? So different, not different dimensions of communication. So first unit, and the first unit has 5 points or 5 subunits, right? Unit number 1.1 is definition and process of communication, right? How communication has came into existence, right? How it has come. We studied in English, we call it etymology, that how words has origin. So the word communication has come from which language? What does it mean, right? What people expert in the field of communication they have said in terms of definitions of this. Then how it works. Fine. See, there are certain things that we understand very well, but technically we don't know that. Okay, this is called process of communication. So we'll discuss lots of what we call it day-to-day examples so that we understand process of communication. Fine. If I ask you, if I tell you from exam point of view, right? I can tell you that from this lecture you can secure your 6 marks or 7 marks, because the question define communication and explain process of communication has been asked in every exam. Please underline, this statement. It has been asked in every exam, right? Be it a midterm exam or final exam of GTU, right? This is something, which will give you 7 marks definitely, right? So if you understand this, you will score 7 marks for sure. Number one. Number two, if you understand this, you will understand the process of communication, and there will be less problems in your life in terms of communication, right? You must have heard of, with friends that my intention was not that, right? It's not about intention, it's not about you are good or bad, but it's about your communication pattern, your selection of your communication tools are not good. That's why, that creates a problem. Fine. So we'll talk about those kind of things, right? Right. Second unit is kinesics. Kinesics talks about body language. Fine. What do you mean by body language? Fine. So here, body language means, it is said in English, it is said in communication that your body speaks before you speak, right? Your body speaks before you speak. That means, yes, you are seen first and then heard, right? So you need to be clear with your appearance, your facial values, your hairstyle, your clothes, right? The color of clothes you have to select, right? Each and every minute thing, right? That is considered. So we'll talk about head movements, facial expressions. We'll talk about hands. We'll talk about legs, right? We'll talk about lots of things which includes or which is included in body language, right? This is kinesics. Third unit is about proxemics. Proxemics is a technical word used for space language, right? That means when you talk with somebody, when we're talking about interpersonal communication, when A talks to B, right? So the way A and B are standing, right? That space decides, right? So many things, right? So we need to understand that. What do you mean? What is the importance of proxemics, right? If you look at the proxemics, there will be lots of subparts. For example, there will be intimate zone, right? That means a father and son, mother and daughter, real brother and sister, right? How they talk, right? So there is no different distance, they sit one by one, sit together, right? There's no problem. But when a teacher and student sits, right? When a boy and a girl, they don't know each other, right? When they sit, right? So there are types of zones, right? Which is divided into different parts. For example, intimate zone, personal zone, social zone, and public zone, right? So what do you mean by these zones? What are the parameters of these zones, and what are the ways to use these kind of zones when we talk with somebody in person? I'm not talking about online, right? when in personal, right, when there is a physical, interactions, right, when you are there in that portion or in that scenario, what can be done, that is important with reference to proxemics. Now if you look at the paralinguistic features, if I speak in a same way, you might not like it, right? Why? Because what will happen that you will get bored when I go flat, right? Here paralinguistic talks about the variation, right? I tell you the most important thing, the way I say it, most important thing. So I use the high pitch. Sometimes if I want to seek your attention, listen, this is very important, right? So I went to the low pitch. So para means, similar, right? We have got para military force, para commandos, right? The para means like, that means like a language. It is not a language, but it is used for the language, right? So we need to understand that what are the such features. So the features includes, right, pitch variation, jargon, speed, everything is there, right? It is wrong belief, rather myth in English, that when somebody speaks English fast, he is good in English. No, it is not like that, right? The first and the fundamental, foremost important thing for communication is that it should be understood by the listener. That means if you speak and your listener cannot understand, if, however good English is yours or whatever you speak, that is good for nothing, I tell you, right? So we'll learn such kind of paralinguistic features, right, in this topic. Fifth topic is importance of interpersonal and intercultural communication in today's organizations. See, we are going to take you to a professional life through this subject, right? So, importance of interpersonal and intercultural communication, right? We have more than students from more than 26 countries on our campus, right? So that means there are at least 27 or 30 cultures, right, existing on our campus, right? That means the way of communication is, at least there are 30 varieties, 30 different patterns of communication. Fine. So here we need to understand that when we interact with somebody in intercultural way, how to communicate with that, right? Simply saying hi or saying hello in all these cultures, it's different. So we need to be very clear about it. So we'll talk about that, how it is important, right? When you talk to somebody, right? Interpersonal means when you talk to one person, talks to another person. Intercultural means when a person talks from one culture to another culture, right? How it is important in today's organizations, right? When you go for multinational companies, for example, you got recruited in Google or Infosys or TCS somewhere, where you will find lots of people from different countries. So how to interact with them, we'll talk about this in this unit, right? Okay, this is unit number 1. Is everybody clear with that? If you say yes, I can go ahead. If you can type yes in the comment box so that I can go ahead, I understand that you got it. Excellent. That means we are together. Great. Fine, thank you. Okay, let's go ahead with the unit number 2. Unit number 2 is technical writing. This unit is going to be helpful to you lifelong, right? That means you will remember me for your entire life, right? If you learn this properly, if you got mastery over it, you will praise me. If you don't pay attention here, if you fail to do that, you will curse me for entire life, because this is the last chance you can learn, right? So report writing, technical proposal, technical description, right? You are going to use this technical writing skills in everyday life when you go for the professional life. Fine. Report writing, you will be asked every day. You will find one common mail received by you every morning, that you submit this report, right? So how to prepare a report, right? There are different types of report writing. We'll talk about those formats, layouts. Will be writing reports, right? There will be lots of practices about it. Then second is technical proposal, right? Technical proposal means you are asked, for example, you got an idea that I have got a good idea. I can design a kind of website or a software which can help the society, right? You go to your teacher, your mentor, your guide, and ask that this is something I have in my mind. that will ask you that you submit a proposal. You submit the proposal, and based on the proposal you may get the grant. We run SSIP center in our college, right? So if you have a good proposal, you come to us, right? We'll help you to get money, right? The government will give you funding, the college university might give you funding, and based on that you can go ahead, provided your proposal, your idea is accepted, right? So how to do it, how to go for it, that is a very important thing, right? I will request you all to go through patent writing, right? Patent search. So if you search on patent, right, whatever comes to your mind, for example, toothbrush, there are more than 25,000 patents registered on toothbrush only. Fine. So there are different types of people. I tell you that they are not researchers, they are not scientists, right? They are common men like you and me, and it is not that much costing, right? That will not give you burden financially, right? It comes within 5,000, right? You can register your own patent, right? So how to go for it? You search patent and you download certain documents, you will get to know that how to write this, right? So in that way, you can mold that application on your own way, using your ideas, right? I'm telling you from point of view of learning language or learning technical writing, right? That can be done, right? If you download a very good report, you will get to know that, okay, this is the way report can be written. If you look at the technical description, right, that means you take up a mobile or a tablet or a laptop. Fine. You talk about that thing, that what are the configurations of that laptop, right? What is the configuration of that laptop? What is the screen size, right? What are the features, whether it's touch screen or not, right? So you talk about this is technical description, right? So we are not supposed to talk about, that how it works, right? Non technically. Here our focus would be technical things, right? Then in the unit number 2.4, that comes to business letters. Business letters means we'll talk about letter writing related to business, right? Sales letter, order letter, complaint letter, adjustment letter, inquiry, recommendations, appreciation, apology, acknowledgement, cover letter. All these things would be there, right? So here, if you want to write a sales letter, for example, you join any company as a technical, supervisor, then you got promoted as a project manager. That means there your role is changed. Now you want to write a catchy sales letter, promotional letter, the way we receive every day certain emails, right, related to products, right? So we talk about that. When somebody inquire about a product, right, you write a letter of reply. Then if you feel that this is something good, you place an order. Now see, with the advent of technology, it has been very easy now, right? Earlier, what people used to do, they used to send you catalog. You look at the catalog, you look at the product, right? You type that product, and you write a letter to the supplier that this is the product with product number. This is what I like. You tell me the what is the price if I buy on this quantity, how we can get it, and all this. And now people have created a mobile application. You click on the product, it will tell you whether it is deliverable or not, right? How many quantities are available, right? You click on the buy button, right? It will give you idea that if 0 to 5, this is the price, 5 to 10, this is the price, more than 10, this is the price. See, the things have been changed, but traditionally how it works, that we need to understand. So we'll talk about that, how to write an order letter, how to write a complaint letter. You received a parcel from Flipkart, for example. You'd ordered a kind of Samsung mobile. Now, when you open the parcel, you got the different variant, right? For example, you ordered 8 GB variant and you got 6 GB variant. So this is something wrong, good, right? Okay. You might get defective piece. You might get the delivery late by certain days, right? Or you don't receive any product certain for certain days. So you write a letter of complaint. Now, adjustment, what will happen that, for example, the company will ask you that, okay, there are two different ways of dealing with complaint. Number one, you say that you send the things back, we'll give you money back. Number two, we can replace the thing. Either you repay or replace. Fine. These are the two ways. right? It can be done. So we are very what we call it, familiar with this kind of things. Then inquiry I discussed. Recommendation letter, if you are planning to fly overseas for your masters, right, in that way, applying for any university, you will have to write letter of recommendation. It is called LOR. If you type in Google LOR, you will get hundreds of examples of LOR. So it talks about different things, right? This is about your personal thing. Now if you can recommend, for certain things. Now recommendation for LinkedIn is different, right? You might receive, or you might send this request to your teachers, your somebody else, that you write this recommendation for me. That person will recommend you that this person has such kind of skills. So that is something validating, right? So we learn how to write recommendation letter, right? Then appreciation, recommendation, appreciation, there is a similar, or what we call minor difference in this two. Appreciation, that means you talk about that thing, that person or a product, right, in a very praising way. Fine. Apology, that means you fail to satisfy customers requirement. In that way you write letter of apology. For example, you received a call during in your library visit, right? You will have to write letter of apology. So this is something we'll talk about, but here our approach, our tone, right, that would be related to business, not personal. Letter of acknowledgement, right? Acknowledgement means, for example, you wrote a letter of inquiry to somebody. Now you don't get reply, you will get to know that whether that person has accepted or not, how it will happen, right? What will happen after some time. So that letter of acknowledgement says that if we have received your letter, we'll work it on and we'll get back to you. So this is something which keeps the communication channel live, so that there won't be any problem. Cover letter, with business letters, with what we call a technical proposal, with technical description, with report writing. Sometimes we write cover letters. How to write a cover letter? Even for your resume writing, cover letter is required. So we'll talk about it. Then unit number 2.5 is agenda of meeting and minutes of meeting. Very important thing. Fine. So when there will be lots of meeting in your professional life, so before going for a meeting, it is required that you send somebody details that these are the points of discussion. Fine, we are going to talk about. Then minutes of the meeting, that after the meeting you share this has been discussed, right? And these are the points which we have discussed during the meeting time, and these are the things. So this is all meetings of meeting. Agenda is before meeting you send, right? These are the points for discussion. And minutes of meeting is after the meeting you share these points have been discussed, and these are the decisions made, right? Okay. Resume writing, right? Resume is something, it is not resume, it is resume. Fine. Resume writing is something your virtual presence, right? When you write your resume, when you send your resume, that means that resume represents you, right? So it should be your replication, right? Now the problem here is, the funny part is, we copy somebody's resume and we edit it, right? That means we get the flavor of somebody's, right, identity in our resume, which is not the right way. So your resume should be your resume. It should be unique the way you are unique, if you are unique, right? So this is what unit number 2 is. Fine. Again, tell me, are we together or not up to now? If you have a question or query regarding this 2 units, tell me. If you are clear with, you say right yes, so that I can go ahead. No question. Okay. Clear. Great, great, great. Okay. So we can go ahead with next. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So unit number 3, technical communication. See, everywhere we'll find technical, right? So we are into technical mode now. 3.1 is public speaking, right? So what is public speaking? When you speak in public, right? That is public speaking. Now here we need to understand that talking to your friend, talking to somebody in the class, and addressing the huge mass, there is altogether difference, right? So what is public speaking? What are the different ways of public speaking, or how we can go ahead with public speaking? What are the tips and techniques to overcome phobia and fears of public speaking? I tell you that one type of fear is called phobia, phobia. There are 600 plus phobias, right? And the biggest phobia, the phobia, if you look at the top 10 phobias, number one phobia is to speak in public, right? I'm talking in general across the world, right? That means it is not easy for everybody to stand up in the mass, go and talk about or speak. Very difficult. So we'll talk about this and we'll have lots of activities related to this. Then group discussion. Fine. Group discussion will help you. You do it a lot, but you are not aware about it that you do group discussion every day, right? So group discussion is something you do in everyday life. Here, group discussion means you talk, you take up one point and you discuss about it and you try to reach to a conclusion, right? Keeping everybody in loop, keeping everybody in confidence. So this will help you for in everyday life, in your professional career, and before switching to your professional career, for your interview process. This will help you, because in interview, this would be one of the steps for recruitment process. You'll be asked to participate in group discussion, and you need to perform. So what is group discussion, how it is conducted, what are the things we should consider from communication point of view, from language point of view, from body language point of view. We are going to discuss about this thing, right, in this unit. Unit number 3.3 is presentation strategies. Fine. This is very important, right? What you present, right, is important, but more important is how you present, right? You look at the color and style and all this, right? So there is a possibility that I just go with the black and white thing, right? So in that way it will not look like uh, here what I've done is I've kept the font size bigger, right? So that from your mobile screen you can see that. So this is the way you present it, right? uh, Keeping in mind this is online, I speak little slow, right, compared to what I speak in the classroom. Why? Because here I need to be clear and from my mind that I'm going to speak, and students cannot see me, right? I cannot see the students, right? So I cannot find the feedback from the students on their faces. So I need to be clear, and keeping that in mind, I speak little slower, right? These are types of presentation strategies, right? We'll talk about while presenting our lectures. There will be lots of images, audios and videos, right? These are required things, right, to keep the presentation or the attendee alive with you or connected with you, right? I'm going to give you a very good examples of these presentation strategies in the coming slides. Then interview skills. See, this is purely related. This subject is related to your career, right? That means how you will, present yourself in the interview. Fine. I tell you that when any companies come to campus, they have requirement of 7 people. Listen to me very carefully. The example I'm going to share with you. They require only 7 people, and there are 7 classes. 7 classes into 60. We consider bare minimum, number, right? So 7 into 60, more than 400 students, and they require only 7. Who will be selected? Those who are good in interview skills, because everybody has comes from the same kind of classroom, same branch, same year, same teachers teach them, right? But thing is that those who are good with interview skills, those who are good with communication skills, right, they will be selected. Fine. And next is negotiation skills. This is very important, right? The companies will tell you that we'll give you package of 5 lakhs. If your negotiation skills are good, right, you will tell them that I can work for 6 lakhs, not more, less than 5 or not less than 6, right? So in that way, if your negotiation skills are good, you will be able to gain more, right? So negotiation is everywhere, right? Negotiation is everywhere. If you are sitting with your family on a dining table, your mom will insist you that take one more bread, right, or take one more thing, right? And you say, no, no, I don't want to take it, right? But if you fail to argue, if you fail to reply the argument why, right, you will get that thing in your desk. If you can convince your mom that, see, I don't want to take it because this is the reason, right? In that way, you undermine the argument, you mitigate the argument, you present your argument against that request, you will be saved, right? This is very simple example, but this is the thing, right? Negotiation skills are used by the students, right, at the time of assignment submission. Yeah, yes, right, because your book was lost, right? You were not well, or you are somewhere else, your books are somewhere else, and these and that, you try to convince your teacher, and you say that instead of submitting 6 assignments, why don't we go for 2 assignments or 3 assignments? So you negotiate that. So these are the skills that we need to understand and we learn, right? So we'll talk about those things. Yeah, this will help you, but mind it, I'm not going to teach you everything, because I know that this will bounce back to me. Fine. Yeah, I know that you were smiling, I cannot see your screens, but I can read your minds. Now, unit number 3.6 is critical and creative thinking in communication, right? So how you can go for it? Here, we'll talk about communication puzzles, right? So the way you can think out of box, right? That people are moving towards one thing and the other people are doing moving another, right? I'll tell you that you read today's Times of India first page. You read today's Times of India first page, right, bottom of the page, you will get to know that there were people from computer field. I tell you, in during the lockdown, people were busy watching web series and movies. They earned around $50,000. Yes, please underline, bold, italic, $50,000. That goes somewhere around 48 lakhs. One person, one student from Rajkot, fine. He was busy finding the bugs in the softwares. He helped the people or companies, and he earned $50,000. Right? This is something creative thinking, critical thinking, right? You register yourself, right, somewhere in guruji.com, right, guru.com, right? You register yourself in freelancer.com, right? So there are lots of people, they need certain help in terms of your skills you have. You find out the common man, right? You find out the customer, you find out the client, and you showcase your talent, right? You negotiate properly, you present your ideas, right? You discuss with them, and you can earn money, right? This is the way you can work out. So this will help you in that way. Unit number 4. Unit number 4 talks about ethics in engineering, right? I'm not going to talk detail about it because we are going to talk about a lot while delivering this, right? There will be case studies we will be discussing, right? The case studies suggested by GTU, and also will find out and will show you, right, different case studies. There will be pure discussion, pure not debate, right? Based topics. So you can talk about your ideas, I'll talk about my ideas, and we'll have discussion, right? So here we'll talk about it because this unit has value, because this comes from the title, right? Title of the what we call it, prerequisite, or title of the objective, right? This is what we are looking for. So different types of ideas, different types of ethics, and their case studies we'll discuss. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Now, if you look at unit number 5, etiquettes. Etiquettes means, how to talk with somebody on telephone. You remember this chalo divas, right? If you don't ask who is speaking, right, and there can be a problem. Etiquettes for foreign business trips, right? So if you go to foreign, right, what will happen? That what are the etiquettes you need to understand, right? Visit of foreign counterparts, right? So if somebody visits here, right, a foreigner to your country, how to talk with them. Etiquettes for small talks, right? So when you meet somebody at the time of meeting, at the time of parting, at the time of inviting, what are the ways you need to consider? We'll talk about those things. Respecting privacy, fine. So when you enter somebody's office, or when you enter somebody's home, you need to knock, right, using somebody's phone, right? All these things comes under privacy, right? So how to respect somebody's privacy. Learning to say no, right, in such a way that you don't, the person don't feel like offended, right, the other people. For example, your friend says, can you help me, can you drop me to my home, and you say, no, I am not, I don't want, I don't have time to go for it, right? I have other assignments. So in that way, that friend may feel offended, but there are ways of telling no. So what are the different ways of telling no, right? We'll talk about it. Time management. Fine. So we should understand this time management, right? And timely, it should be managed timely, right? So this is what we are going to talk about. Unit number 6, self development and assessment. How to bring in change, how to grow in life, right? From starting from that, how to persist, prioritize, read, learn, listen, record, remember, assess, think, communicate, relate, and dream. This is the unit. I'll be talking about goal setting. I'll be talking about bucket list and all those things, right? We have lots of real life examples we'll be talking about, and then we'll go ahead, right? So this would be very interesting journey for our units, right? Keeping these 6 units in our minds, effective technical communication will help you genuinely, very aptly for your professional career, right? So if you have any question till now, just tell me so that we can go ahead. If you feel that okay, there is no problem in that, you can say yes, you're clear with that. I'll go ahead. Wow. Am I teaching the same class? Great. No problem at all. Very happy, very happy. Okay. Now, evaluation scheme. Uh, this is something you need to understand that for 30 marks, we have Coursera course. Very soon, I'm going to share with you people the Coursera link. You need to complete that course on your own. And if you submit the certificate, you will get 20 marks out of 30 directly. Fine. And 10 marks for your end semester Viva. So I'll conduct a Viva, and based on your Viva, you will get out of 10, right? So if you score 5 out of 10, you will get out of 30, you will get directly 25 by completing this course. So this course is very important for you people, right? And then there are assignments, 2 assignments, each of 10 marks, right? Let's go for it. This is the course. Now, what I have done is I have used this Coursera course, communication skills for engineers. It's a very specialized course, right? Within that, there are small 3 courses: oral communication for engineering leaders, right? This will help you for your interview process and public speaking. Interpersonal communication for engineering leaders. Fine. So how to talk with people, right? Interaction, etiquettes, and all. And writing skills for engineering leaders. Now, writing skill has most uh, important thing and more weightage in your syllabus. That's why I've selected this course. Very soon I'll share the links with you so that you can start working it on. And by the end of the semester or the deadline which I share with you, right, you need to submit the course certificate, right, completion certificate, and you will get 20 marks directly. Assignment number 1, book review, right? So I'll upload the syllabus, right? And you look at the syllabus, they have given a big list of books. You can select any book and you can prepare, a review. I'll share the format, right? In which format you are supposed to submit your book review and present it, right? During the lab time, we'll ask you to present your book review, right? And based on that, you will get 10 marks, or out of 10 marks, you will get it, right? Resume writing, right? In the next year, you will be asked to give a resume to every company, so you need to be very clear and ready with this. So what are the points we need to consider while writing a resume? So we'll talk about it in detail, and we'll teach you how to go for it. And you need to submit your resume in physical copy or in soft copy, or either, or based on how you resume to your college, right? So this is what the thing, that assignment number 2. right? So this is what we have. Now in last 10 minutes time, I like to tell you that how we will go for it, right? From the next lectures, the flow of the lecture would be like this. If you look at the first thing, opening remarks, I have divided, no, selected students, you people. So one student from your class, right, will open the session for 3 minutes. That means when we start the class, that student will speak and share the details, right? What exactly we are going to learn today. That would be something like lecture objectives. Then there will be 15 minutes time, 15 minutes discussion. That means after 3 minutes, I'll discuss about one topic for 15 minutes. Then I'll ask you a question, right? Within that presentation only, so that we'll get to know whether you are together or not. Then another 15 minutes, there will be discussion, and then again there will be a question, right? A small question, we'll get to know. So I'll be able to gauge that. I'll be able to measure that whether we are together or not. Then again there will be a discussion for 10 minutes. So that is about presentation, right? Then last 10 minutes, no, there will be question as a recall. If you have any question, what I have taught today, right? You can ask me, or we will revise that. These are what we have done, right? Then what we have done is I have integrated every lecture with one quiz. Fine. So in Google Form, I've created a quiz for you people. Fine. So I'll give you at that time a link, right? You need to click on that link and you need to go for attending a quiz. There will be only 5 questions, right? 5 questions about what we have studied today. And requirement is you need to be very clear, and 100% score is required, right? This will be mapped with your internal assessment directly, right? After 5 minutes, I'll take your attendance for 4 minutes, right? And there will be closing remarks by one student, right? That student I have decided. So how we'll go for it? Let's go. Quiz time. Fine. So this is the text you will find in every Google form, right? The quiz is integrated part of your lecture and all this. You'll get to know in tomorrow's class. Fine. Okay. Now this is I'm going to share in WhatsApp group also, right? That means here O means opening remarks. Fine. C means closing remarks, right? So I started with number 2. So Dirga will open session tomorrow. Dirga, can you open your, unmute your mic and tell me? Dirga, are you there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you need to give me a call or WhatsApp, right? After the class, and you get the information that what I'm going to teach tomorrow. So in the beginning of tomorrow's class, we'll start with you. You will open the session and we will discuss that what I'm going to teach tomorrow. Is it clear?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Right? Likewise, against your name, it is there. O means opening, lecture number 3, right? C means closing, right? Okay. C2, that is closing number 2, right? So here, what will happen that closing number 2, closing number 1 is Disha. So Disha, are you there? Disha, enrollment number 22. Right? Disha will close the session tomorrow, right? So Disha can, whatever she has studied or observed, she'll talk about it. So this list I'm going to share in WhatsApp group for your reference, right? Okay. Do you have any question answer? You can ask me till now. If you have any question, you can ask me, right? So same way in the class, there will be 5 minutes spared for that. Fine. Now it's attendance time. I take your attendance. Just a minute. Fine. Okay. Dirga, present? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Meet. Meet, are you present? Meet
Yes,
Amrutya.
sir.
Okay. Shilpi.
So,
Is Shilpi
yes,
there?
sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Kishan.
Yes, sir.
Kushal. Deepan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Keyur.
Yes, sir.
Sanjana. Where are you, Sanjana? Okay. Keyur.
Yes, sir.
Niyati.
Yes, sir.
Anil.
Yes, sir.
Isha.
Yes, sir.
Meloni.
Yes, sir.
Nupur.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Vasudhara. Good. Artif.
Present, sir.
Harjit. Arjit. Are you present there? Yashpal. Jai.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Nishtha.
Yes, sir.
Dhairya.
Yes, sir.
Mitul.
Yes, sir.
Mihir.
Yes, sir.
Jai.
Yes, sir.
Avesh.
Yes, sir.
Krunal. Mahima.
Yes, sir.
Shyam.
Yes, sir.
Jenny.
Yes, sir.
Nandan.
Yes, sir.
Lisa.
Yes, sir.
Nirbhay.
Yes, sir.
Jwalant. Is Jwalant there? Rutvi.
Present, sir.
Chintan. Dax Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Dax. Q stands for quiz. So at the end of every unit, there will be quiz. For example, unit number 1. So there are 6 lectures, like 5 lectures for discussion, 6 lecture, entire lecture will be for quiz, right? So in that lecture, we'll have a Google quiz and we'll discuss about it. So when I mentioned here Q, right? Q5 means you will discuss, you will open the session of quiz number 6, right? I'll at the time of talking about quiz, you can give me a call and we'll discuss about it individually, right? Daksh.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Rajesh.
Yes, sir.
Ravi. Kushi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Anand.
Yes, sir.
Dhruv.
Yes, sir.
Keyur.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kushal.
Yes, sir.
Ankit.
Yes, sir.
Isha.
Yes, sir.
Arth.
Yes, sir.
Keith.
Yes, sir.
Cash.
Yes, sir.
Mohit.
Yes, sir.
Panavi.
Yes, sir.
Shukla ji present, hai? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Dusty.
Yes, sir.
Ganesh.
Yes, sir.
Nikita.
Yes, sir.
Satish.
Yes, sir.
Yash.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gil.
Yes, sir.
Aditi. Is Aditi present?
Yes, sir.
Okay, beta. And Harsh,
Yes, sir.
Alai,
Yes, sir.
Harsh, sorry,
Yes,
Harshit,
sir. Yes, sir.
Amit,
Yes, sir.
Dharmajit Singh, Keval, Sunda. Sunda, are you there? Okay, Bhavisha,
Yes, sir.
Bhavisha, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nandini,
Yes, sir.
Avesh, Poojan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody left with?
Yes, sir. Sanjana Dekhoja.
Sanjana, where were you? Okay. Mark the attendance, right?
Sir,
So
Jwalan
I'll
Modi
very-
62.
Huh?
Sir, Jwalan 62 enrollment.
62 Jwalant. Okay. 62
Sir,
Jwalant. Okay.
132.
132. Manan.
Man.
Man. Okay. Done.
Sir, Yashpal Jadeja, 33.
Okay. Yashpal C33. Okay. Done. Fine. So this was the way. If you have suggestions, you let me know. Fine. I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and I'll share the link with you people, so that if you want to recall, you can recall it later on. Fine. And if you feel that this is another way or better way, you can go for it. Fine. We can also go for it. Okay, Keval, I'll consider your attendance. Don't worry. Fine. I have attached Google Meet attendance plugin, right? So I'll verify with the plugin. If anybody is there in the plugin in a list of the plugin and yours, I'll verify and I'll consider that. Don't worry about it, right? Okay. So we'll go for it. If you have a suggestion or questions, you can get back to me. And Dirga, you just give me a call after all the classes gets over. I'll share the details what I'm going to discuss tomorrow. Right? Have a beautiful day ahead. Thank you very much. Right? Thank you. Bye.